Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another brand episode where we give in information as to how you can immigrate quickly to Canada if that is your interest. Today we are discussing about the exciting new news on work permits that the government just issued. I think about 4 days ago. This is so exciting that many people are trooping to ensure that they make use of this stream before it is too late. And what is it? The government of Canada has decided to ease these work permit rules to combat the skill and labor shortage that is pervading the country, Canada. And what has it done? To make it accessible to many more persons to come over to Canada, they are easing the rules on work permit. They are making it so easy that sparse of persons who have work permit can easily come over and unite with their loved one in Canada. And what have they done? They have made it in such a way that the processing time is really short, just 30 days. This is huge for all who are applying for temporary work permit. Just like the minister said, he said Canada is making it easier for families to reunite and support themselves once in Canada. Faster processing times, open work permits, and more understanding processing decision are part of the new measures that was announced by the Minister of Immigration. And this is huge because it opens way to many who are locked in the lurch, as it were. Their spouse traveled to Canada on a work permit and they are not able to join those spouse because of some limitation. But now it is open for them that they can access this route even right now. So what does this mean? Well, let's see some of those things that are open or that is made possible by this new announcement. The first one is that faster application processing time for temporary resident visa is now available for spousal applicants. So if you are a spouse to someone who is already in Canada, then you are sure of getting an expedited processing time of just 30 days, which is just 1 month. And in 1 month, you'll get a decision as to whether you are joining your spouse in Canada. There is also a new and dedicated processing tools for spousal temporary resident visa applicants. So you have a dedicated channel, as it were, to get your work permit approved. And guess what? For all those spousal applicants, they will be getting an open work permit. And what it means is that you can choose to work with any employer when you come over to Canada. The spouse could have been tied to a closed permit or a worker-specific work permit in which he is tied or she is tied to working for just that specific employer. If he decides to leave that employer, he will need to put an application to get another work permit. So the beauty of it is that for the spouse coming over to Canada, they will be having an open work permit, and that is huge. You can even come with the family members. Insofar you put in your application for your family members as at the same time you are making yours. So that is another thing that is very good about this announcement. And for all those who are already in Canada, if you have an open work permit that is expiring between August 1st and December 31st, you will have the opportunity to extend your work permit. So it means you'll be having more time to stay in Canada. And guess what? Having more time to stay in Canada means that you'll be looking at more routes to transition to a permanent one. Isn't that wonderful? That is something that we need to think. So if you have spouse that are in Canada already, you can leverage this pathway to get your family members over to Canada. And if you have not got a work permit, you can leverage ways to getting a work permit. How do you get a work permit? Well, there are different ways you can get a work permit. You either need to come to Canada as a student, you either need to get an employment to come over to Canada. And once you've got that, you can apply for a work permit. So you can also apply for a work permit if you have applied for a permanent residence and your application is being processed. You can apply for a work permit for those duration that you are waiting. And that is huge. So you will not have that waiting time. Probably for some who are sticking for 2 years and above to get a decision. For those 2 years, you will already be in Canada if your work permit is approved. You can get a work permit if your spouse has already gotten a work permit in Canada. And that is what this decision that the government of Canada is saying. You can get an open work permit because your spouse is already there in Canada. You can join them. If you are a refugee in Canada, you can also apply for a work permit. If you are a young worker participating in special program, yes, for some countries, they can come, especially in the summer, they can come over to Canada and get some summer jobs done. While you are here, you can apply for a work permit. These routes are huge for anybody who wants to come over to Canada. So look for different ways you can get a work permit. For most person is getting a job in Canada. And if you want to get a job in Canada, you have to look for a job with an LMIA. I have this video over here that talks about how you can search and get a job in Canada. Watch that video and follow the different instructions there, and you will be on your way to getting a job and then applying for a work permit. If you found value so far, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Please share this video to others who are looking for ways to see how they can secure a work permit. And if you know anybody who is already in Canada, let them know that their spouse, their family members can get work permit in a hurry. Let them not delay. The family members can be joining them in the shortest possible time. Drop your comment and question in the comment section of this video, and I will find ways to make a video answers for questions that I see that the majority are asking. And I'll definitely see you in the next video.